Okay everybody, this is Zeffy Brody and I wanted to do this tutorial for several days now and I'm trying to get around to it. This was a request. Somebody needed help putting their logo on a shopping bag. I ended up doing it for them and showed them the steps. Because the request came at me on a Friday night after I've DJ'd, and I'm a little bit on the tipsy side, I have to confess, whenever I do, sometimes. And so I wasn't in my best form to do a tutorial. I need to have my wits about me and have all my stuff organized. So I'll try to do it this time without really screwing up. I don't know if I can. This is the shopping bag in question. This is a Melia Mako branded item. I have done tutorials for her before. So pretty much when you're in Second Life you get the folder. I don't know where the folder is. Oh goodness gracious. Oh poo. I don't need recent. I've been working on something else. The shopping bags, it has all the textures that you probably need. You got one bag open and one bag closed and all these textures. So I went with this for shopping bag 1. It's the one that's closed at the top, you know, it's pinched shut. I think this, I like that a little better, unless you're going to stick things out of it. It could be a nice little idea if you had things that you wanted to stick out at the top. Okay, so this is what the logo looks like. What you do to this is you will save as, I always save as PNG, because when I'm on my computer I can see PNGs and what they are in a preview pane, where TGAs they won't open and show you what you're looking at. And so I've got that in Gimp right here along with this person's logo. This was very simple, straightforward to me. Hopefully I'm not making this silly assumption that everyone knows as much as I did. But also I'm going to try and show how to put on a shirt as well. So you have this logo. This is their logo. I asked permission if I can go ahead and use their logo in this tutorial. So there it is. It's cut down, you know, to nothing around the edges. I said edit, copy, and went back to this thing, to this file, and I'm going to edit, paste. And it's pretty big. You need this tool here that's for scaling. You'll grab it, you'll move it about where you want it, you scale it down to where it's going to look okay on a bag. Scale it. I think maybe just got to keep goofing around. You want it to cover, in this instance, since I'm not going to do anything to her template, to the Melly template, and the colors match her logo pretty good, I'm just going to worry about covering up the word logo with the logo I'm using. Then it's there, it's pasted, but see, it's got the dancing ants around it. It's not really part of the file yet. You got a floating selection. I'm generally going right click on the floating selection in the layer palette, and I'm going to new layer. So it's got its own layer now. That way, you know, you can try different things on these and make as many layers as you want. This one should be ready to go. I'm going to go File, Export, because you got to export these things. And we're going to do, I'm going to call it Block Bag Tutorial. I'm going to actually put that in here. Export, export. Now in Second Life you want to build upload image. Well, let's tie it on there first. We're going to try it as a temp texture, and this is dangerous because if you don't remember to get the real texture later on, you'll goof up. So I got to figure out where I'll put it. Block bag tutorial. There it is. I've chosen to add it in local, and I am putting it on there. Yeah, it looks a little bit off center, see, so I'm glad I did it as a temp. Texture. We'll go back in. Try to figure out which way it's supposed to be leaning. Most peculiar. I'm gonna try to center that sucker. It did look like it was. I didn't have this much trouble in the Friday night take, actually. Let's just grab the moving tool for this. We're going to export it out again and overwrite it. That's how it should change. Yeah, it's still way the heck over here. Alright, it's going to the left. We're moving it to the left. As much as we can without going over the O. Me. Alright. It's all a bunch of trial and error. Nothing is ever perfect first go. If it is, then count your blessings. And I do Fulbright on this so it looks a little better. That's what the bag looks like now. I mean, if you wanted to get in here and change the side of the bags, change the rest of this, you need to, oops, you would change these stripes right here to a different color. Whatever, but you're using this is the template. This is telling you, this is showing you basically where these sections of the bag are. So she's done a pretty good job of making a color coordinated bag of it. I mean, I guess you could do all one color, whatever you needed. That is the bag done. Let me go back into SL here, and if you were, what you need to do at that point is upload the actual texture by paying the 10 lindens. I'm not going to do that. But once you do that, I have it here somewhere. I mean, a version of it that I made the other night. You will drop that on here and overwrite to make sure that you don't have that temp texture on there anymore, the local one that I had you test. Make sure you upload your texture at the end, and that's the one that's on there, the one that you paid for. Otherwise, you give this to somebody else and it'll be gray. Or you log out and you log back in, it'll be gray. So you want to make sure you don't leave any of those temp textures on. You will be actually paying 10 lindens and then using the one that goes into your inventory on there, which is basically here. Surely there is one in here somewhere. I did do one the other night. Anyway, we're going to go on to the shirt because it's probably more what people would want to know. I don't know. So we have a shirt here, and it's not Melly, and I don't remember who made it. I have to look. And it was, oh, what's this gal's name? She does TD templates. This is such an old shirt that it only has 5 standard sizes. This is not like made for Maitreya body or anything like that, but it's one of the It's one I like to wear because it's small will fit me just perfectly, and I have a lot of old ones that are like that. So this is the template that came with that shirt, and it's kind of a grayish charcoal, what do you want to call it. And basically same situation. You already have this copied on your clipboard, so you should just be able to paste it over here. Pasting it, resizing it with that scale tool, put it somewhere around a boob area. I don't know, they had this thing when I was a kid that said that if you were flat-chested, it helped if you had a shirt with a design right across the boobs. I had to follow that advice because I didn't have any boobs when I was in high school. Alright, so I'm going to put it right about there because I'm still following that old silly rule. And I'm going to take down the opacity on this layer. I'm going to put it to a new layer, and I'm going to take down the opacity to where it looks like it's faded. It's a faded shirt. You don't want it to be too damn bright that it's going to blow your eyeballs out or look like it's, not part of the material. You bring that down too faded, it's going to look like, came out of the, I don't know. I like it when I can see the actual fibers through there a little bit. But when I'm getting down to a 30% opacity, that's not really very bright. It does help. Okay, so what I'd like to do I really don't like having to look at these the yellow line that goes around the new layer. So I always go in here and say View and turn off the layer boundary, so I can actually see what my item is going to look like without that stupid boundary around it. That's just for my own pleasure, viewing pleasure. Alright, so we're going to export this, and we're going to call it a black shirt. What the heck? Right? I probably have this somewhere anyway already. I know I do. But for the sake of fun here, we'll take this one, and you'll have to pardon me, I have a cat in heat, and I have a heater kicking on and off here. This is the day of 42 below wind chills out there. I have 2 space heaters. Alright, we're going to try the black shirt on here. And that's about it. It's really faded because I put it on a fade really. I put the opacity down into the 30s. But yeah, it looks like a nice worn shirt. My wrinkles are showing through and my fabric is showing decently. That's as simple as pasting your logo onto something. I got into something the other day where, I don't know if I can find this or not. Where the devil is it? Piggy? No, these all ended up in my documents. Piggy transparency. This is a new project of mine. I took this piggy and cut him out. Basically, as a background, he was on. So this is a transparency. You can tell by the little checkerboard. He was originally on a white background. I used the magic wand tool, got rid of the background, and then I've got him all ready to go. Edit. I don't want to select anything. Okay, he's copy, and then let's get rid of the blockhouse logo and paste the piggy on there. Get him into a real layer. size him down to boob size. And on this guy, I actually overlapped. I made the pig front and center of the boobs and ignored the hammer, and it really does blend in pretty good. I made this shirt. It was pretty cool. I'm wearing it right now. And let me find myself. Got the Ace logo on the back. Anyway, there's my last project. Piggy's gonna go on some other items. So that is basically how you're putting a logo on these objects. I thought it was I guess the tutorial needs to be done. People don't know how to use Gimp. Just remember, you're always exporting out of Gimp. Save as just saves it as a XCF file, so you can use it again with all the layers. But it doesn't export it, so you need to export it. When you do, you want to make sure it has one of the possible files that Second Life takes. PNG, JPEG, what's the other one? TMP, or TGA, I mean. You want to make sure that you're saving it dot whatever, someplace you can find it. I usually work off the desktop, so I know where my stuff is for that day. And then I put all my stuff away later, so my desktop will be a big mess for a couple days at a time sometimes, but I generally know where everything is. So hopefully that helps somebody. I'm off to make another tutorial. I think I may do one on rigging objects in Blender. I've never done a tutorial for Blender. I've never been that confident about it. But it needs to be done as well. Hope that helps somebody. And everybody stay tuned for the next bit. Bye.